Reverend Dr. David Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Very kind of you to use my extended title. The Minister has raised the issue of the rebuild, as many members before him have, and some of my questions that I would like some reassurance from the Minister on relate precisely to that same project. I wish to discuss, and I don't think anyone in the debate has yet raised these clauses 59 and 116, which specifically point to changes in thresholds. Clause 59 amends the repayment threshold for overpayment on income statements. So they relate to the personal tax summary and the ability.
Related to Part 2?
Yes, absolutely, sir. Part 2, 116 is absolutely in there. The other part is in Part 1, sir, but it's the same general principle that's in both parts of the bill and relates to the thresholds. The basic issue for those who are at home or new to the debate is that if your personal tax statement personal tax summary shows that you're owed a refund, it can be automatically returned to you as a taxpayer. And there's a threshold which is currently $200. So if the refund is less than $200 and you don't confirm through a personal tax summary interaction with the department, it's automatically returned to you after 300 days. If it's over $200, then you have to go through the process. And the proposal in those two clauses together amounts to changing that threshold to $600 and making the wait just 15 days. So if you're entitled to a refund, you get it within 15 days, which seems to me broadly a sensible step. It's about reducing bureaucracy. It's about saying if it's below a certain threshold, we shouldn't have lots of bureaucrats batting backwards and forwards. It's very odd. It would be very odd, given the competence of the Inland Revenue Department historically, for that number to be wrong. We should just get on and do it, is the basic premise, I take it, behind this change. My one concern is that whether the IR can deliver on this, given the significant changes that are going on with the business transformation package that is before us, that the Minister has just spoken to, because we have had situations in this House in the past couple of years where the Minister and the previous Minister is the one who's had to do this, has brought back child support legislation, which simply hasn't been able to be implemented. When thresholds have changed, when a formula's changed, we've passed a law through the Parliament, which is one thing, to say we're going to change this to what we think is more sensible as a Parliament. It's voted upon, and a change is made which looks sensible on paper. And then the government has been in the distinctly embarrassing situation of having to come back and reverse out those changes because they have not been able to implement them through the computer system. It's happened more than once, sir. And so what I would like to know, and I believe it wasn't discussed at the Select Committee, is whether the Minister has sought assurances that this change can be simply made and whether it can be delivered in the time frame, which is the proposed amendment in the original commentary was the 1st of April this year. Clearly that is no longer the schedule, and I'd be interested in the Minister letting us know whether this is in fact still the schedule for delivery, whether it's a retrospective act, because I think this is the kind of, it's a detail, but that's what we're here to discuss in the committee changes. This is the kind of thing that could trip the government up, that could see the whole legislation coming back to the House. If the Minister hasn't got that assurance, I'm prepared to move an amendment that would either remove that or push out the date for implementation to a time when the Minister thinks he could safely ensure that change as a part of the rebuild without the embarrassment of having to bring it back to the House again, as has befallen the government previously. So the Minister, I see, has had some advice, so I will look forward to his contribution. I don't wish to prolong my contribution much further, only to say that if that isn't deliverable, as I've mentioned already to the Minister, I would be happy to move an amendment that either changes the date so that it can be safely implemented, or if that's not necessary, then I'm sure the Minister will explain to us shortly. Thank you, sir.
Grant Robertson.